And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Well Done coming at you live on this beautiful corona-free day. It is Friday the 13th. How are you doing? So, here's the thing. Why are you listening right now? Don't go anywhere. It's just a simple question. Here's the thing about it. You know, a lot of these YouTubers and comedians and celebrities, you always see where they're at. In my opinion, if you like what I got to say, my point of view, I make you laugh, it's great. A lot of people don't watch people from the beginning. So, by chance, if you like what you're hearing, I know my work ethic, and there's no way to see that on the outside. But by you being able to watch me and hear my thoughts and stuff like that, you'll be able to see me grow into what I know I will be. So, you know, why are you watching? There's a few reasons. Why not? Well, who knows? You know, a big problem with all of the social media nowadays is that a lot of people are... It's kind of hard to actually rise above the crop, so to speak, you know? There's so many different YouTubers and channels and freaking celebrities now that are out of work because they're not acting or getting damn shows on YouTube and stuff like that. And it's just, it's so much harder to rise above even with talent. And I'm not saying it in a boisterous way. I'm just being honest as far as like a statistical mathematical principle. If 1% of however many people are in the, you know, 6 billion people or whatever, right, are freaking amazing, insightful, you love what you got to hear, what they got to say, you feel like you can get something from them, you literally have a less than 1%, a 1%, a 1%, a 1%, a 1% chance to ever hear those insightful things because there's so much other people talking. There's so much, it's like, how hard is it to find a good girl? Extremely easy, depending on if you meet the right one, right? It's a weird dichotomy when you think about it. If you're watching, someone I just met indirectly the other day made a comment. I was talking to him on the phone, I was making him laugh, and I was trying out new material on the phone, right? Because right now, a lot of the open mic places are done. So if you're listening, I really, really do highly appreciate that. For everyone that's just listening, because this is also a podcast, streaming anywhere you want to hear it. By the way, side note, there's a whole lot of more listeners that listen to this on audio than do video, because you got things to do, you're driving. You don't have time to really be like watching videos, and if you do, that's great. More props to you. If you do, it's here. If not, you can always listen it to Alexa, Spotify, I mean, you name it, I'm on it. Right? But I gotta slow down a little bit. Community speeding. But yeah, what I was getting at is I was talking to this guy, and I had a point, and I'm speeding through community. So this is the live action that you get on a video and audio. You just don't see what I'm doing. I'm driving. But anyway, so I was talking to this guy, and I was really appreciative and thankful because all the open mic places to work on material are for the most part closed down. Or they do Zoom shows. The problem with Zoom shows is if I do a show on Zoom, all right, then essentially I'm not able to really hear the feedback of people laughing. So I'm basically, as a comedian, I'm building material on more material without knowing that I have like a solid foundation. So what I did was I bought a bicycle. Before, well, let me say this. Before I got the bicycle, I would traditionally go to bus stops and I would just try new material. And it was raw, and it was uncut. It wasn't on video sometimes, but anyway. And I was able to try material earlier in the day than have to go to a 10 o'clock open mic. This is pre-corona, right? And I was making everybody at the bus stop laugh. And then after they left, I had a new group of people after 5-15 minutes or whatever, and I could take what didn't work, and they'll only hear the better version of it, because that's like the magic of comedy. You only hear the best version of it. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It would be more inspiring to me watching a comedian work on stuff that you might think that sucks, it's not good, it's awful, it's dumb, it's bad. That's because I know as a comedian that I'm watching something, it's a work in progress, and then come and see it later when it's all worked out and fixed. You know, you think, oh wow, that guy's so funny. Everyone has to go through a plate of just dick and mud of complete sucking per joke, essentially. And no matter how long you've been doing comedy, you get better and better at finding an idea or premises or something like that you sort of know, it's like the words on your paper or your laptop talk back to you. It has like an emotional connection, and you're saying, hey, this would really be funny, this is really good. The stuff that you're not really sure of, okay, that can go both ways. But there's even occasions when you got something, you really believe in it, and you try it on stage and it doesn't work at all. So what does that mean? Abandon it or work on it more? You know? But anyway, so I was talking to this guy on the phone. I was really appreciative and whatnot. And I thanked him. You know, it essentially all I can really do is, aside from going to bus stations, which I used to do, now there's Corona, I got a bicycle. So now I ride around different communities and I see people. All right, I'll pull over and I'll start telling them jokes. Really, I did like 10 miles on my bike the other day, just telling people different jokes. But guess what? I'm grinding. I'm a grinder, okay? That's my work ethic. I'm not gonna stop. I'm relentless, and there isn't a finish line, you know. And I'm not saying that as far as like some inspiring, you know, whatever, you know, some quote or whatever. But I'm being honest. The hardest thing about being objective in things that you do is being truthful. And sometimes when you're being truthful, you can come across as cocky, overconfident. So in the most non-boisterous way, I'm trying to let my listeners know that by you continuing to hear me, when you see me on stage, you'll already have a point of view. You'll have an idea as far as how I think, why I think it, my likes, just different aspects of me. So I'm essentially going from having fans to having friends. Now, I haven't ever been interested in having fans, honestly. But as a part of the business, I have a day job, and I'm working to have comedy be a full-time gig and everything. But right now, with the overwatering and oversaturation of even if you hate him, if you like him, regardless, that Comedy Central guy, Trevor Noah or something, he does some sort of a talk show. He is not a touring comedian, but even he had a special. It's a weird thing. You know, you got all these comedy specials and stuff like that. Everybody is trying to stay alive during this pandemic. And me, I'm essentially maintaining. And some wise words this new friend of mine mentioned today, actually, which was keep making the videos. I'm gonna keep making the videos. They say it usually takes like 4 to 5 years. I've been doing this like a little over a year, okay? And I've been doing the podcast maybe like I want to say maybe a year too. But the numbers in the podcast are exponential. They're all around the world. People are listening. And once on, as far as the audio channel goes, I get like over 100,000 listeners. Then I'll actually start to, you know, I can always work on sponsorships and stuff like that later. But right now, I'm really just focused on being the best version as I am, being as truthful as I am and confident. Because there's not an act here, you know. If you liked my comedy or my jokes and you see on the street, you know, minus Corona, I'd give you a handshake and then, you know, a hug if my wife wasn't there. Which is actually something that I said happened recently when I did that comedy show in Austin. There was like 800 people there, and ordinarily that's where I'm not saying I make my money, but not as far as actual dollars go. I make my money, meaning like that's where I really invest the most amount of importance is before and after a show, because that's when I get to network and connect with people, and they like me more than just some random guy that doesn't talk to them on stage. Now it's someone that they know. So by me doing this video, I'm also incorporating myself as far as someone that you would know. So that's the reason why you should be listening. If you like what I got to say, this is all interconnected to highlight my comedy, in all honesty. But with this Corona and everything, I'm telling you, before this thing started, like I had just started having like out of state shows, like in Seattle and San Francisco and Los Angeles, and all these things, these plans are being laid out. Look at my freaking cray. And the first of many shows to start to, I don't want to say the term tour, but I guess it would be, was going to start, I think it's like March 15th. And the week that I was traveling is Corona was really starting to pop off. The week that I was going to go there is the first week the comedy club had closed. And it's been like that ever since. Um, I'm still working on getting booked at other places, but between the closures and the restrictions and stuff like that, it's a very challenging process, not just to get booked, because there's a lot of other people, and I'm not disrespecting anybody when I'm saying this, but I'm just being honest. I don't have any way of comparing other people's work ethic, but I know how hard I work, and I set my alarm even on the weekends. Okay, right? Just so I can have more hours for production. But there's a lot of people out there that, I've seen them, and I'm not hating, I'm just saying, I've seen some people that are actual on paid shows that maybe they bring in a lot of people and are selling a lot of tickets, but they're being funny. They're not saying funny things. They're kind of like just talking shit. They don't have actual material. That's not a way to really be consistent. Some people actually on a paid show will bring up, and no hate if you do this, I'm just being honest, a notepad and read from it like it's an open mic poetry session kind of a thing. Now, there's one thing, what I'm getting at is I really value your time, and I wouldn't want to waste it. And, I'm not being serious right now. I'm just trying to have my thoughts come out correctly. I respect the time of everybody else so much because I know how much I respect my own. I'm going to make sure when I get on stage, everything is perfect. The timing is perfect. My material is vetted. I'm going to have everything locked up, memorized, and to a T. But the best way I can really vet now is through checkout lines, make sure things are working. I go to parking lots of stores sometimes. I really do. Just to keep everything alive. Because there's this fire inside me for what I'm working on making happen. And I'm not even going to let a damn world pandemic slow me down. So, everybody, God bless. I wish the best for everybody. Have a beautiful day. You can always, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, you name it. Hit me up because I'll always talk to everybody back. That just as a side note, I didn't ever really understand, how like social media, it's like a currency. It really is now. If you have like 10 million followers, like, oh, you get the blue check mark and stuff. But for some reason, people think it's a bad thing if you have 10 million followers and you follow 10 million. If you follow me, I follow you right back. Because more than likely, if you like what I got to say, well, then I'm gonna like what you got to tell me. There's a very high possibility, because that means that if we think alike, more than likely we would click naturally in life, and more than likely we'd be friends. So again, not being all hallmarky and whatnot, but I'm not really interested in having fans. I know that's what you call them, but essentially they're friends. You're just people I haven't met. So if you like what you hear, and I'm making you laugh and shit, then yeah, we'd probably be people that would be hanging out if we live close together or we're nearby our neighbors or something like that. It's a weird thing in reality, because you can actually have a neighbor that you've known for 5 years and you don't have anything in common, but maybe the mailman who you see once a week or every so often, that guy could be your boy. You're just so tight with him. You met him twice and he's like the coolest guy ever. He thinks you're the coolest guy ever. And again, not being weird, I'm trying to keep things focused, but what I'm getting at is this. It's a weird thing when people think you're good enough to follow somebody, but not good enough to follow back. Doesn't mean I would be blowing you up, but I would much rather prefer, through all the random pictures that I see on Instagram, having it be people that I actually know in some aspect and why I know them, compared to some random girl's asses and or some dude like flexing his muscles. Like, I don't click on pictures of dudes flexing their muscles. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, you got that browse menu, on Instagram. So anyway, with that being mentioned, I know people got time, which is also don't really have time nowadays, which is why the audio is so much quicker to move everything forward. And even now, I'm rounding into 15 minutes. I can see a little counter on my recording on my phone. But I fully get why people got to sort of split after 10 minutes. That's why I try to keep it around 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I hope everybody has a beautiful day. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Just remember, that's why you are listening. I'm Benja Well Done. Check me out. Peace.